StockMentor.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your stock mentor, Brian Johnson. And quick update for those of you that follow this. This is my weekly, this is what we do in the trade room all day long. Trade futures, trade stocks. Anyway, here are what we're doing, or what we have been doing on the futures this past week. I'm going to throw it up there. I think I'm spending far too much time. If you guys probably know by now I have a trading room, so there you have it. Anyway, this is what I'm doing. Some people ask for this. They want to see it. I have not done a whole lot the last couple days. Flat out intro. I mean, here it is. We haven't done a whole lot in the futures the last couple days. Market's been very flat, so we've been very flat, and we just haven't got a whole lot done. I think this is from the beginning of the week, though, right up here, and this was all week long. So if you want to pull that up, still doing very well overall, and that's just trading one contract. If you just trade one contract, you can see kind of what we're doing here. The X's mean I was short, if you guys are asking about that. Then your entry prices, your exit prices, and what date I got out, along with profit, total profit when it was all said and done. Okay, so there we have it on the futures. The stocks are here. This is what we've been doing on the stock charts. This is what we played so far this week. Same type of thing. You can see the X's mean I was short. I use 100, guys. I don't know what you trade. You could trade 50. You could trade 10. You could trade, I don't know, 25. The point is, how many times are we making money? How many times are we not making money? I think that's the bigger overall point of the thing. I just use 100 as a flat rate, and then 50 on Google because it's a $600 stock, to kind of give you a ballpark of what may or could have been made on these different things. Point is, take a look at what we've been trading. Give yourself an idea of what we're in still. S&H I'm still in. CHS I'm in. MOS I'm in. All to the long side here. MCP I'm in. Some of you are going to be like, oh yeah, sure you are. Okay, listen. MCP was one of those home runs that only comes along every now and then. We already had our order in. We were already ready to go. Look at the charts. It is one of the most gorgeous inverse head and shoulders you are ever going to see in a chart. So we were more than prepared for that one, and that was not my call. That was brought up to me in the trading room by somebody else. So kudos not to me for finding that stock, but to someone else. And what a beautiful, beautiful trade that turned into. We'll see if we can actually get it to go someplace tomorrow. Maybe it crashes back tomorrow. But anyway, point being, this is what we did all week long. Kind of give you an idea of what we're doing in the trading room. And now, let's just move right on to where we are in the markets. All right, gap up to start the day, straight run up right at the very early part of the day, and then just blah, nowhere at all to get things going. As we wandered sideways, you can see here on the Dow, once we broke this line, bye-bye. It was all over for the bears. This one ran straight up. High base. That's what we saw for that consolidation for a day or two. That was the little red candle that I was telling you about. As long as it stays up here, still very bullish, and run up again into what is now, right now, actually still a high base. Now we're still sitting up here at the highs. You can see early in the day we hit this high right around 740-ish or so, and it was straight sideways all day long. Nothing you can do, no trading really to be done when the markets are doing that, except sit around and watch the little flashing lights blink at you. Ugh. Boy, I'll tell you what, it makes for some pretty rough trading. But overall, guys, as it was with this, still bullish. Move up, high base, move up, high base, move up. Kind of a high base here. Lather, rinse, repeat. How many times did we see it in some of these other moves here? Right? Move up, high base, move up, high base, move up, high base, move up, high base, pull back, move up. Oh, and then we're going to pull back a little bit. So this could go for quite a while. Still lending a lot of credence to the whole, if you're an Elliott guy, 1, 2, 3. This was all a 4. With now 5 waves starting, it all looks good at this point. So I still have to tip my hat more towards that. It's what we've been looking at for quite a while. The move was up and over 12.6 for your next long. That was kind of gapped above today, a little tricky to play that, but the next move then was above this, like I said, 12.6 into 12.7, 12.75, right here. Right into overhead resistance. So stopped, paused, didn't go anywhere, and that's where we finished the day. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, looking pretty clean right here. Just waiting for the breaks of these highs. That would be the confirmation. Maybe we turn into a triangle here. I don't know. Little tough for me to see that scenario, but I want to give you at least the option of looking at that. If we do indeed start to pull back, or we would really kind of need to do some heavy selling tomorrow and really drop hard, get back into this area, and then we could maybe do some consolidating. But right now, still looking very good from a bullish standpoint. I said on Tuesday was my last one. So hard press up on Tuesday. I said if we pull back or go sideways on Wednesday, still got to definitely give it to the bulls. Maybe a couple days of that, no such luck. Straight up again today. So everything's still looking very bullish in the markets. It just is what it is right here. NASDAQ on a 60 as well, coming up into these upper levels. Not quite able to make that high. This is a nice little triangle consolidation. Things are changing in the after hours. It was as though it waited for Microsoft to report tonight, and then it said, oh, well, that ain't so bad. And then the NASDAQ futures took off. They were the lagger of the day. Certainly need to pay attention to that. Odd to see that the NASDAQ is the lagger, and something we certainly should be watching. However, with Google reporting already and Apple reporting already, and I don't think Amazon and Priceline and any of those things did really much at all today. There really wasn't a lot of help for the NASDAQ to climb, especially, the NDX 100. So there just wasn't a lot of move. I don't put a lot of emphasis on that quite yet. But if that continues for the next day or two, okay, then maybe we need to look at where the market's going overall. But as it is right now, we're right back into this high. Looking very, very clean here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You could even maybe count a 1, a 5, 2, a 5. This is working on a 3, a 5, on and on. Point being, we broke the high back here. We made a new high in the NASDAQ, and I'm sure there were people that were like, yeah, but there was no confirmation from the SPX and the Dow. In most cases, that just means there's no confirmation from them yet. So sometimes you have to wait a little bit longer with the NASDAQ being as strong as it is. Pull back into perfect moving averages here. Looking for that push to the upside. 2420. I'd be watching it. Stick it on your charts and watch it closely. It might take a while. Maybe there's a couple of attempts of up and back, and it might take us a while to get it to stick. But boy, that break over 2420 could be good potential for some covering by the bears, and that might just accelerate that selling or the buying once it actually, and if it actually happens. So this break 2420, still the mark to be watching. Now we got 1 day left. We're going to close out these weekly candles. I'll be very interested to see what these all look like when we're said and done. But look at this, pushing once again on this overhead area. This just looks like a big fat high base right here. It's it's a huge range, big consolidation. Point is, still kind of a big high base. So one of my scenarios, from the bigger picture was 1, 2, maybe this is 3. Now this is 4 with a 5 to the upside here. The potential's there. I like what I'm seeing here. Looks pretty clean so far. Anyway, here's the deal. If the bears are going to do anything about this, they better move tomorrow. They really don't have a whole lot of wiggle room left. If this thing stays high and bases sideways tomorrow, still more bullish. If it pulls back but only a little bit, still more bullish. They're going to really have to start coming in. Or else, the bulls are obviously going to take over, just drive this thing upwards. There's no reason that they wouldn't do that. This, by the way, would also coincide with that break we talked about on Apple, where Apple's already out and above its bull flag. This wasn't even a bull flag. This was more of a high base. But SPX, here was a nice looking little chart too, where we had the touch, the break, and as long as it holds this backside of it on the retest, we can go lower, but it's still more bullish overall in my book. And then here was the break, and it's up high base, up, rolling over. Man, I wouldn't trust it. You don't know quite yet. So once again, guys, there is no such thing as up too far. That doesn't exist. Can we get extended? Yes, we can get extended. I don't necessarily believe we're extended yet. This is extended, okay? But, this push here is 40, 50 points. Okay, that's pretty common for any wave 3 if that's, what we're in. Some sort of a wave 3 push to the upside. It's really not that uncommon. So we still definitely could see a little bit more of that oomph to the upside coming into tomorrow's trading. Really, the levels to be watching will be the 1350 and the 1340. I would say watch that 10-point limit there and see if you can't get a move one way or the other. Obviously, 1356 should be pretty good overhead resistance as well. Might not even make it, so I'd be cautious. Don't count if we go up tomorrow. Don't count on 1356 getting hit. At 1353, 1354, that can make for a little bit of tight, difficult trading if you're going to take any kind of a trade above 1350. So you're going to want to be watching it. I certainly wouldn't be like, oh, gee, it's Friday, I'm going to go long SPX with a bunch of calls and I'm going to hold over the weekend. I really don't think I'd be in that boat at this time. So while I'm not afraid to go long, I'm very cautious. And I'm doing most of my long trading with the futures right now, and I'm not using any kind of a vehicle like the SSO or options or anything like that. Allows me to get out in the middle of the night, and there's just a lot of extra freedoms that come with that. So SPX daily, same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, looking like the 5. These breaks of these upper levels, I think it's done deal then. Done deal. How far will it go? I don't know. 1400, 1450. That seems to be some targets people have been talking about. I just, up. We have the move here. We have the high base. This was, once again, very, very much in the more bullish area. And then, of course, the hard push today. That was a run and a half today. Once it got going after the market opened, whew, boy, it was hard to catch up to it. Talk about chasing. VIX, back into the 17 area. So what do we... Back below 19. Here we go again, waiting for that thing to see where it'll finally settle out. But we'll be watching this, the weekly, to see where it closes by the end of tomorrow. We still have a day left. The weeklies can turn out any way. So while we can discuss them, we can't really put a number to them, obviously, without the bell ringing on Friday to give us that final number for the week. We've seen a lot of violent Fridays, so who knows what's going to happen. I'm telling you, the scenario is if we don't move anywhere tomorrow, if the bears don't come in and start moving this thing tomorrow in a more drastic manner, you got to wonder just where the power really lies right now. FAS, not much to talk about from a trading standpoint. Beautiful trade up and over 25. The next trade, would be like up and over 26, spot 25 or 26.50. That's another really good trade to the long side if it keeps the pressure going. But really, this is just to show you here, if I flip to the daily, the big push in the financials, which of course has been moving the markets in the violent way that we've seen them over the last couple of days. Same thing with the FAZ. If it'll ever come up. Okay, so you don't want to cooperate. Let's go to the daily. Doesn't make a difference. Once we broke this level, this was the area right below the 200-day moving average. Slice through the other ones, slice through the rest today. With the gaps, very tricky to play, very difficult to play these. You got to be sharp and got to be quick on your feet. But overall, not a bad stock to be, kind of tinkering around with the last couple days if you can day trade this kind of stuff. Bigger picture, ugly. This is just ugly. We had maybe an inverse head and shoulder setting up here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Ooh, that's a little deep. So something to be very, very wary of. Tons and tons of inverse head and shoulders that set up this week, guys, that were playable. They were all over. I saw a lot of them in the charts. All right, everyone. Until next time, have a great one.